The Book of Jeremiah, King James Version Bible, Chapter 1. The words of Jeremiah the son of Hilkiah of the priests that were in Anathoth in the land of Benjamin, to whom the word of Mighty God AHAYAH came in the days of Josiah the son of Ammon, king of Judah, in the 13th year of his reign. It came also in the days of Jehoiakim the son of Josiah, king of Judah, unto the end of the 11th year of Zedekiah the son of Josiah, king of Judah, unto the carrying away of Jerusalem captive in the 5th month. Then the word of Mighty God AHAYAH came unto me, saying, Behold, I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee, and before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee, and I ordained thee a prophet unto the nations. Then I say, Mighty God AHAYAH, behold, I cannot speak, for I am a child. But Mighty God AHAYAH said unto me, Say not, I am a child, for thou shalt go to all that I shall send thee, and whatsoever I command thee thou shalt speak. Be not afraid of their faces, for I am with thee to deliver thee, said Mighty God AHAYAH. Then Mighty God AHAYAH put forth his hand and touched my mouth. And AHAYAH said unto me, Behold, I have put my words in thy mouth. See, I have this day set thee over the nations and over the kingdoms, to root out, and to pull down, and to destroy, and to throw down, to build, and to plant. Moreover, the word of Mighty God AHAYAH came unto me, saying, Jeremiah, what seest thou? And I said, I see a rod of an almond tree. Then said Mighty God AHAYAH unto me, Thou hast well seen, for I will hasten my word to perform it. And the word of Mighty God AHAYAH came unto me the second time, saying, What seest thou? And I said, I see a seething pot, and the face thereof is toward the north. Then Mighty God AHAYAH said unto me, Out of the north an evil shall break forth upon all the inhabitants of the land. For lo, I will call all the families of the kingdoms of the north, said Mighty God AHAYAH, and they shall come, and they shall set every one his throne at the entering of the gates of Jerusalem, and against all the walls thereof, round about, and against all the cities of Judah. And I will utter my judgment against them, touching all their wickedness, who have forsaken me, and have burned in incense unto other gods, and worshipped the works of their own hands. Thou therefore gird up thy loins, and arise, and speak unto them all that I command thee. Be not dismayed at their faces, lest I confound thee before them. For behold, I have made thee this day a defence city, and an iron pillar and brazen walls against the whole land, against the kings of Judah, against the princes thereof, against the priests thereof, and against the people of the land. And they shall fight against thee, but they shall not prevail against thee, for I am with thee, said Mighty God AHAYAH, to deliver thee. Chapter 2. Moreover, the word of Mighty God AHAYAH came to me, saying, Go and cry in the ears of Jerusalem, saying, Thus says Mighty God AHAYAH, I remember thee, the kindness of thy youth, the love of thine espousal, when thou went after me in the wilderness, in a land that was not sown. Israel was holiness unto Mighty God AHAYAH, and the first fruits of his increase. All that devoured him shall offend. Evil shall come upon them, said Mighty God AHAYAH. Hear you the word of Mighty God AHAYAH, O house of Jacob, and all the families of the house of Israel. Thus says Elohi AHAYAH, what iniquity have your fathers found in me, that they are gone forth from me, and have walked after vanity, and are become vain? Neither said they, Where is AHAYAH that brought us up out of the land of Egypt, that led us through the wilderness, through a land of deserts and of pits, through a land of drought and of the shadow of death, through a land that no man passeth through, and where no man dwelleth. And I brought you into a plentiful country to eat the fruit thereof, and the goodness thereof. But when you entered, you defiled my land, and made mine inheritance an abomination. The priest said not, Where is AHAYAH? And they that handled the law knew me not. The pastors also transgressed against me, and the prophets prophesied by Baal, and walked after things that do not profit. Wherefore I will yet plead with you, said Mighty God AHAYAH, with your children's children will I plead. For pass over the isles of Chittim, and see, and send into Kedar, and consider diligently, and see if there be such a thing. Had a nation changed their gods, which are yet no gods? But my people have changed their glory for that which do not profit. Be astonished, O ye heavens, at this, and be horribly afraid. Be ye very desolate, said Mighty God AHAYAH. For my people have committed two evils. They have forsaken me, the fountain of living waters, and hewn them out cisterns, broken cisterns that can hold no water. Is Israel a servant? Is he a home-born slave? Why is he spoiled? The young lions roared upon him and yelled, and they made his land waste. His cities were burned without inhabitant. Also the children of Nob and Tahpanhes have broken the crown of thy head. Hast thou not procured this unto thyself, in that thou hast forsaken Mighty God AHAYAH, thy El Elohi, when he led thee by the way? And now what hast thou to do in the way of Egypt, to drink the waters of Sihor? Or what hast thou to do in the way of Assyria, to drink the waters of the river? Thine own wickedness shall correct thee, and the backsliding shall reprove thee. Know therefore and see that it is an evil thing and bitter that thou hast forsaken Mighty God AHAYAH, thy El Elohi, and that my fear is not in thee, said Mighty God AHAYAH of hosts. For of old times I have broken thy yoke and burst thy bands, and thou said, I will not transgress, when upon every high hill and under every green tree thou wanderest, playing the harlot. Yet I had planted thee a noble vine, wholly a right seed. How then art thou turned into the degenerate plant of a strange vine unto me? For though thou wash thee with nitre, and take thee much soap, yet thine iniquity is marked before me, said Mighty God AHAYAH. How canst thou say, I am not polluted? I have not gone after Balaam. See thy way in the valley, know what thou hast done. Thou art a swift dromedary, traversing her ways. A wild ass used to the wilderness, that snuffed up the wind at her pleasure. In an occasion who can turn her away? All they that seek her will not weary themselves. In her month they shall find her. Withhold thy foot from being unshod, and thy throat from thirst. But thou saidest, there is no hope. No, for I have loved strangers, after them will I go. As the thief is ashamed when he is found, so is the house of Israel ashamed, they their king and their princes and their priests and their prophets. Saying to a stock, thou art my father, and to a stone, thou hast brought me forth. For they have turned their back unto me, and not their face, but in the time of their trouble they will say, arise and save us. But where are thy gods that thou hast made thee? Let them arise, if they can save thee in the time of thy trouble. For according to the number of thy cities or thy gods, O Judah. Wherefore will you plead with me? You all have transgressed against me, said Mighty God AHAYAH. In vain have I smitten your children. They receive no correction. Your own sword had devoured your prophets like a destroying lion. O generation, see ye the word of Mighty God AHAYAH. Have I been a wilderness unto Israel, a land of darkness? Wherefore said my people, we are lords, we will come no more unto thee. Can a maid forget her ornament, or a bride her attire? Yet my people have forgotten me days without number. Why trimmest thou thy way to seek love? Therefore hast thou also taught the wicked ones thy ways. Also in thy skirts is found the blood of the souls of the poor innocents. I have not found it by secret search, but upon all these. Yet thou sayest, because I am innocent, surely his anger shall turn from me. Behold, I will plead with thee, because thou sayest, I have not sinned. Why gettest thou about so much to change thy way? Thou also shalt be ashamed of Egypt, as thou wast ashamed of Assyria. Yea, thou shalt go forth from him in thine hands upon thine head, for Mighty God AHAYAH had rejected thy confidences, and thou shalt not prosper in them. Chapter 3. They say, if a man put away his wife, and she go from him, and become another man's, shall he return unto her again? Shall not the land be greatly polluted? But thou hast played the harlot with many lovers, yet return again to me, said Mighty God AHAYAH. Lift up thine eyes into the high places, and see where thou hast not been lain with. In the ways hast thou sat for them as the Arabian in the wilderness, and thou hast polluted the land with thy whoredoms and with thy wickedness. Therefore the showers have been withholden, and there hath been no latter rain, and thou hast a whore's forehead, thou refusest to be ashamed. Wilt thou not from this time cry unto me, my father, AHAYAH, thou art the guide of my youth? Will he reserve his anger forever? Will he keep it to the end? Behold, thou hast spoken and done evil things as thou couldest. Mighty God AHAYAH said also unto me in the days of Josiah the king, Hast thou seen that which backsliding Israel had done? She is gone up upon every high mountain and under every green tree, and there hath played the harlot. And I said, after she had done all these things, Turn thou unto me, but she returned not. And her treacherous sister Judah saw it. And I saw when for all the causes whereby backsliding Israel committed adultery, I had put her away and given her a bill of divorce. Yet her treacherous sister Judah feared not, but went and played the harlot also. And it came to pass through the lightness of her whoredom that she defiled the land and committed adultery with stones and with stocks. And yet for all this her treacherous sister Judah had not turned unto me with her whole heart, but friendly, said the Mighty God AHAYAH. And Mighty God AHAYAH said unto me, The backsliding Israel had justified herself more than treacherous Judah. Go and proclaim these words toward the north, and say, Return, thou backsliding Israel, said Mighty God AHAYAH, and I will not cause my anger to fall upon you. For I am merciful, said Mighty God AHAYAH, and I will not keep anger forever. Only acknowledge thine iniquity, that thou hast transgressed against AHAYAH, thy El Elohi, thy mighty God, and hast scattered thy ways to the strangers under every green tree, and you have not obeyed my voice, said AHAYAH. Turn, O backsliding children, said AHAYAH, our mighty God, for I am married unto you, and I will take you one of a city, and two of a family, and I will bring you to Zion. And I will give your pastors according to my heart, which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding. And it shall come to pass, when ye be multiplied and increased in the land, in those days, said AHAYAH, they shall say no more, the ark of the covenant of AHAYAH, neither shall it come to mind, neither shall they remember it, neither shall they visit it, neither shall that be done any more. At that time they shall call Jerusalem the throne of Mighty God AHAYAH, and all the nations shall be gathered unto it, to the name of AHAYAH, to Jerusalem. Neither shall they walk any more after the imagination of their evil heart. In those days the house of Judah shall walk with the house of Israel, and they shall come together out of the land of the north to the land that I have given for an inheritance unto your fathers. But I said, How shall I put thee among the children, and give thee a pleasant land, a goodly heritage of the hosts of nations? And I said, Thou shalt call me my father, and shalt not turn away from me. Surely as a wife treacherously departed from her husband, so have you dealt treacherously with me, O house of Israel, said AHAYAH, mighty God. A voice was heard upon the high places, weeping and supplications of the children of Israel, for they have perverted their way, and they have forgotten Mighty God AHAYAH, their El Elohi. Return, ye backsliding children, and I will heal your backslidings. Behold, we come unto thee, for thou art Mighty God AHAYAH, our El Elohi. Truly in vain is salvation hoped for from the hills and from the multitude of mountains. Truly in Mighty God AHAYAH, our El Elohi, is the salvation of Israel. For shame had devoured the labor of our fathers from our youth, their flocks and their herds, their sons and their daughters. We lie down in our shame, and our confusion covered us. For we have sinned against Mighty God AHAYAH, our El Elohi, we and our fathers from our youth even unto this day, and have not obeyed the voice of Mighty God AHAYAH, our El Elohi. Chapter 4. If thou wilt turn, O Israel, said Mighty God AHAYAH, return unto me, and if thou wilt put away thine abominations out of my sight, then shalt thou not remove. And thou shalt swear, Mighty God AHAYAH liveth, in truth and judgment and in righteousness, and the nations shall bless themselves in him, and in him shall they glory. For thus says Ahiah our mighty God to the men of Judah and Jerusalem, break up your fallow ground, and sow not among thorns. Circumcise yourselves to mighty God Ahiah, and take away the foreskin of your heart, ye men of Judah and inhabitants of Jerusalem, lest my fury come forth like fire, and burn that none can quench it, because of the evil of your doings. Declare ye in Judah, and publish in Jerusalem, and say, blow ye the trumpet in the land. Cry, gather together, and say, assemble yourselves, and let us go into the defenced cities. Set up the standard toward Zion, retire, stay not, for I will bring evil from the north, and a great destruction. The lion is come up from his thicket, and the destroyer of the Gentiles is on his way. He is gone forth from his place to make the land desolate, and thy cities shall be laid waste without inhabitant. For this, gird you with sackcloth, lament, and howl, for the fierce anger of mighty God Ahiah is not turned back from us. And it shall come to pass at that day, said mighty God Ahiah, that the heart of the king shall perish, and the heart of the princes and the priests shall be astonished, and the prophets shall wonder. Then said I, Messiah, King Ahiah, surely thou hast greatly deceived this people and Jerusalem, saying, ye shall have peace, whereas the sword reacheth unto the soul. At that time shall it be said to this people and to Jerusalem, a dry wind of the high places in the wilderness toward the daughter of my people, not to fan nor to cleanse. Even a full wind from those places shall come unto me. Now also will I give sentence against them. Behold, he shall come up as clouds, and his chariot shall be as a whirlwind. His horses are swifter than eagles. Woe unto us, for we are spoiled. O Jerusalem, wash thine heart from wickedness, that thou mayest be saved. How long shall thy vain thoughts lodge within thee? For a voice declared from Dan, and published affliction from Mount Ephraim. Make you mention to the nations, behold, publish against Jerusalem, that watchers come from a far country, and give out their voice against the cities of Judah. As keepers of the field are they against her round about, because she had been rebellious against me, said mighty God Ahiah. Thy way and thy doing have procured these things unto thee. This is thy wickedness, because it is bitter, because it reacheth unto thine heart. My bowels, I am pained at my very heart. My heart maketh a noise in me. I cannot hold my peace, because thou hast heard, O my soul, the sound of the trumpet, the alarm of war. Destruction upon destruction is cried, for the whole land is spoiled. Suddenly are my tents spoiled, and my curtains in a moment. How long shall I see the standard and hear the sound of the trumpet? For my people is foolish, they have not known me, they are sottish children, and they have none understanding. They are wise to do evil, but to do good they have no knowledge. I beheld the earth, and lo, it was without form and void, and the heavens, and they had no light. I beheld the mountains, and lo, they trembled, and all the hills moved lightly. I beheld, and lo, there was no man, and all the birds of the heavens were fled. I beheld, and lo, the fruitful place was a wilderness, and all the cities thereof were broken down at the presence of mighty God Ahiah, and by his fierce anger. But thus hath mighty God Ahiah said, the whole land shall be desolate, yet will I not make a full end. For this shall the earth mourn, and the heavens above be black. Because I have spoken it, I have purposed it, and will not repent, neither will I turn back from it. The whole city shall flee from the noise of the horsemen and the bowmen. They shall go into thickets and climb up upon the rocks. Every city shall be forsaken, and not a man dwell therein. And when thou art spoiled, what wilt thou do? Though thou clothest thyself with crimson, thou deckest thee with ornaments of gold, thou rentest thy face with paintings, in vain shalt thou make thyself fair. Thy lovers will despise thee, they will seek thy life. For I have heard a voice as a woman in travail, and the anguish of her that bringeth forth her first child, the voice of the daughter of Zion that bewaileth herself, that spreadeth her hands, saying, woe is me now, for my soul is weary because of murderers. Chapter 5. Run ye to and fro through the streets of Jerusalem, and see now, and know, and seek in the broad places thereof, if ye can find a man, if there be any that executed judgment, that seeketh the truth, and I will pardon it. And though they say, Mighty God AHAYAH liveth, surely they swear falsely. O mighty God AHAYAH, are not thine eyes upon the truth? Thou hast stricken them, but they have not grieved. Thou hast consumed them, but they have refused to receive correction. They have made their faces harder than a rock, they have refused to return. Therefore I said, surely these are poor, they are foolish, for they know not the way of mighty God AHAYAH, nor the judgment of their Elohi, their mighty God. I will get me unto the great men, and will speak unto them, for they have known the way of mighty God AHAYAH, and the judgment of their Elohi. But these have altogether broken the yoke, and burst the bonds. Wherefore a lion out of the forest shall slay them, and a wolf of the evenings shall spoil them. A leopard shall watch over them. Cities, every one that goeth out thence, shall be torn in pieces, because their transgressions are many, and their backslidings are increased. How shall I pardon thee for this? Thy children have forsaken me, and sworn by them that are no gods. When I had fed them to the full, they then committed adultery, and assembled themselves by troops in the harlots' houses. They were as fed horses in the morning, every one nigh after his neighbor's wife. Shall I not visit for these things, said mighty God AHAYAH? And shall not my soul be avenged on such nations as this? Go ye up upon her walls, and destroy, but make not a full end. Take away her battlements, for they are not mighty God AHAYAH's. For the house of Israel and the house of Judah have dealt very treacherously against me, said mighty God AHAYAH. They have belied the mighty God AHAYAH, and said, It is not he, neither shall evil come upon us, neither shall we see sword nor famine. And the prophets shall become wind, and the word is not in them. Thus shall it be done unto them. Wherefore thus says mighty God AHAYAH, our Elohi of hosts, because ye speak this word, behold, I will make my words in thy mouth fire, and this people wood, and it shall devour them. Lo, I will bring a nation upon you from far, O house of Israel, said mighty God AHAYAH. It is a mighty nation, it is an ancient nation, a nation whose language thou knowest not, neither understandest what they say. Their quiver is an open sepulchre, they are almighty men. And they shall eat up thine harvest, and thy bread which thy sons and thy daughters shall eat. They shall eat up the flocks and thine herds, they shall eat up thine vines and thy fig trees, they shall impoverish thy fenced cities, wherein thou trusted with the sword. Nevertheless, in those days, said mighty God AHAYAH, I will not make a full end with you. And it shall come to pass, when ye shall say, Wherefore doth mighty God AHAYAH, our Elohi, all these things unto us? Then shalt thou answer them, Like as ye have forsaken me, and served strange gods in your land, so shall ye serve strangers in a land that is not yours. Declare this in the house of Jacob, and publish it in Judah, saying, Hear now this, O foolish people, and without understanding, which have eyes and see not, which have ears and hear not. Fear ye not me, said mighty God AHAYAH? Will ye not tremble at my presence, which have placed the sand for the bounds of the sea by a perpetual decree, that it cannot pass it? And though the waves thereof toss themselves, yet can they not prevail? Though they roar, yet can they not pass over it? But this people had a revolting and a rebellious heart. They are revolted and gone. Neither say they in their hearts, Let us now fear mighty God AHAYAH, our Elohi. They give it rain, both the former and the latter, in his season. He reserved unto us the appointed weeks of the harvest. Your iniquities have turned away these things, and your sins have withholden good things from you. For among my people are found wicked men. They lay wait as he that setteth snares. They set a trap, they catch men. As a cage is full of birds, so are their houses full of deceit. Therefore they are become great and waxen rich. They are waxen fat, they shine, yea, they overpass the deeds of the wicked. They judge not the cause of the fatherless, yet they prosper, and the right of the needy do they not judge? Shall I not visit for these things, said Mighty God AHAYAH? Shall not my soul be avenged on such a nation as this? A wonderful and horrible thing is committed in the land. The prophets prophesy falsely, and the priests bear rule by their means, and my people love to have it so. And what will you do in the end thereof? Chapter 6. O ye children of Benjamin, gather yourselves to flee out of the midst of Jerusalem, and blow the trumpet in Tekoa, and set up a sign of fire in Beth Serum, for evil appeared out of the north, and great destruction. I have likened the daughter of Zion to a comely and delicate woman. The shepherds with their flocks shall come unto her. They shall pitch their tents against her round about. They shall feed every one in his place. Prepare ye war against her. Arise, and let us go up at noon. Woe unto us! For the days go away, for the shadows of the evening are stretched out. Arise, and let us go by night, and let us destroy her palaces. For thus had Mighty God AHAYAH of hosts said, Hew ye down trees, and cast a mount against Jerusalem. This is the city to be visited. She is woefully oppression in the midst of her. As a fountain casted out her waters, so she casted out her wickedness. Violence and spoil is heard in her. Before me continually is grief and wounds. Be thou instructed, O Jerusalem, lest my soul depart from thee, lest I make thee desolate, a land not inhabited. Thus says AHAYAH, our mighty God of hosts, they shall thoroughly glean the remnant of Israel as a vine. Turn back thine hand as a grape gatherer into the baskets. To whom shall I speak and give warning, that they may hear? Behold, their ear is uncircumcised, and they cannot hearken. Behold, the word of Mighty God AHAYAH is unto them as reproach. They have no delight in it. Therefore I am full of the fury of Mighty God AHAYAH. I am weary with holding in. I will pour it out upon the children abroad, and upon the assembly of young men together. For even the husband with the wife shall be taken, the aged with him that is full of days. And their houses shall be turned into others, with their fields and wives together. For I will stretch out my hand upon the inhabitants of the land, said Mighty God AHAYAH. For from the least of them even unto the greatest of them every one is given to covetousness, and from the prophet even unto the priest every one dealeth falsely. They have healed also the hurt of the daughter of my people, slightly saying, Peace, peace, when there is no peace. Were they ashamed when they have committed abominations? Nay, they were not at all ashamed, neither could they blush. Therefore they shall fall among them that fall at the time that I visit them. They shall be cast down, said Mighty God AHAYAH. Thus says AHAYAH, our mighty God, stand ye in the ways, and see, and ask for the old paths, where is the good way, and walk therein, and ye shall find rest for your souls. But they say, We will not walk therein. Also I set watchmen over you, saying, Hearken to the sound of the trumpet. But they said, We will not hearken. Therefore hear you, nation, and know, O congregation, what is among them. Hear, O earth, behold, I will bring evil upon this people, even the fruit of their thoughts, because they have not hearkened unto my words, nor to my law, but rejected it. To what purpose cometh there to me incense from Sheba, and the sweet cane from a far country? Your burnt offerings are not acceptable, nor your sacrifices sweet unto me. Therefore thus says Mighty God AHAYAH, Behold, I will lay stumbling blocks before this people, and the fathers and the sons together shall fall upon them. The neighbor and his friends shall perish. Thus says Mighty God AHAYAH, Behold, a people cometh from the north country, and a great nation shall be raised from the sides of the earth. They shall lay hold on bow and spear. They are cruel and have no mercy, their voice roaring like the sea, and they ride upon horses set in array as men for war against thee, O daughter of Zion. We have heard the fame thereof, our hands wax feeble, anguish have taken hold of us, and pain as a woman in travail. Go not forth into the field, nor walk by the way, for the sword of the enemy and fear is on every side. O daughter of my people, gird thee with sackcloth, and wallow thyself in ashes. Make thee mourning as for an only son, most bitter lamentation, for the spoiler shall suddenly come upon us. I have set thee for a tower and a fortress among my people, that thou mayest know and try their way. They are all grievous revolters, walking with slanders. They are all brass and iron. They are all corrupters. The bellows are burned, the lead is consumed of the fire, the founder melted in vain, for the wicked are not plucked away. Reprobate silver shall men call them, because Mighty God AHAYAH had rejected them. Chapter 7. The word that came to Jeremiah from Mighty God AHAYAH, saying, Stand in the gate of Mighty God AHAYAH's house, and proclaim there this word, and say, Hear the word of Mighty God AHAYAH, all ye of Judah, that enter in at these gates to worship AHAYAH. Thus says AHAYAH of hosts, the mighty God of Israel, Amend your ways and your doings, and I will cause you to dwell in this place. Trust ye not in lying words, saying, The temple of the Lord, the temple of the Lord, the temple of Mighty God AHAYAH are these. For if you thoroughly amend your ways and your doings, if you thoroughly execute judgment between a man and his neighbor, if you oppress not the stranger, the fatherless, and the widow, and shed not innocent blood in this place, neither walk after other gods to your hurt, then I will cause you to dwell in this place, in the land that I gave to your fathers for ever and ever. Behold, you trust in lying words that cannot profit. Will ye still murder and commit adultery, and swear falsely, and burn incense unto Baal, and walk after other gods whom ye know not, and come and stand before me in this house, which is called by my name, and say, We are delivered to do all these abominations? Is this house which is called by my name become a den of robbers in your eyes? Behold, even I have seen it, said Mighty God AHAYAH. But go ye now unto my place which was in Shiloh, where I set my name at the first, and see what I did to it, for the wickedness of my people Israel. And now, because you have done all these works, said Mighty God AHAYAH, I have spake unto you, rising up early and speaking, but ye heard not, and I called you, but you answered not. Therefore will I do unto this house which is called by my name, wherein ye trust, and unto the place which I gave to you and to your fathers, as I have done to Shiloh. And I will cast you out of my sight, as I have cast out all your brethren, even the whole seed of Ephraim. Therefore pray not thou for this people, neither lift up a cry, nor prayer for them, neither make intercessions to me, for I will not hear thee. Seest thou not what they do in the cities of Judah, and in the streets of Jerusalem? The children gather wood, and the father kindle the fire, and the women knead their dough to make cakes to the Queen of Heaven, and to pour out drink offerings into other gods, that they may provoke me to anger. Do they provoke me to anger? Said Mighty God AHAYAH. Do they not provoke themselves to the confusion of their own faces? Therefore thus says AHAYAH, our mighty God, Behold, mine anger and my fury shall be poured out upon this place, upon man and upon beast, and upon the trees of the field, and upon the fruit of the ground, and it shall burn, and shall not be quenched. Thus says AHAYAH, our mighty God, the mighty God of Israel, Put your burnt offerings into your sacrifices, and eat flesh. For I spake not unto your fathers, nor commanded them in the day that I brought them out of the land of Egypt concerning burnt offerings or sacrifices. But this thing command I them, saying, Obey my voice, and I will be your mighty God, and you shall be my people. And walk ye in all the ways that I have commanded you, that it may be well with you. But they hearkened not, nor inclined their ear, but walked in the counsels and in the imaginations of their evil heart, and went backward and not forward. Since the day that your fathers came forth out of the land of Egypt unto this day, I have even sent unto you all my servants, the prophets, daily, rising up early and sending them. Yet they hearkened not unto me, nor inclined their ear, but hardened their necks. They did worse than their fathers. Therefore thou shalt speak all these words unto them, but they will not hearken to thee. Thou shalt also call unto them, but they will not answer thee. But thou shalt say unto them, This is a nation that obeyeth not the voice of Mighty God AHAYAH their El Elohi, nor receiveth correction. Truth is perished, and is cut off from their mouth. Cut off thine hair, O Jerusalem, and cast it away, and take up a lamentation on the high places, for Mighty God AHAYAH had rejected and forsaken the generation of his wrath. For the children of Judah have done evil in my sight, said Ahiah. They have set their abominations in the house which is called by my name to pollute it. And they have built the high places of Tophet, which is in the valley of the sons of Hinnom, to burn their sons and their daughters in the fire, which I commanded them not, neither came it into my heart. Therefore, behold, the days come, said Mighty God AHAYAH, that it shall no more be called Tophet, nor the valleys of the son of Hinnom, but the valley of slaughter, for they shall bury in Tophet till there be no place. And the carcasses of this people shall be meat for the fowls of the heaven and for the beasts of the earth, and none shall fray them away. Then will I cause to cease from the city of Judah and from the streets of Jerusalem the voice of mirth and the voice of gladness, the voice of the bridegroom and the voice of the bride, for the land shall be desolate. Chapter 8. At that time, said Mighty God AHAYAH, they shall bring out the bones of the kings of Judah, and the bones of the princes, and the bones of the priests, and the bones of the prophets, and the bones of the inhabitants of Jerusalem out of their graves. And they shall spread them up before the sun and the moon and all the host of heaven, whom they have loved and whom they have served, and after whom they have walked, and whom they have sought, and whom they have worshipped. They shall not be gathered, nor be buried. They shall be for dung, shit, upon the face of the earth. And death shall be chosen rather than life by all the residue of them that remain of this evil family, which remain in all the places whither I have driven them out, says Mighty God AHAYAH of hosts. Moreover, thou shalt say unto them, Thus says Mighty God AHAYAH, shall they fall and not arise? Shall he turn away and not return? Why then is this people of Jerusalem slidden back by a perpetual backsliding? They hold fast the seed, they refuse to return. I hearkened and heard, but they spake not aright. No man repented him of his wickedness, saying, What have I done? Every one turned to his course, as the horse rusheth into the battle. Yea, the stork in the heaven knoweth her appointed times, and the turtle and the crane and the swallow observe the time of their coming. But my people know not the judgment of Mighty God AHAYAH. How do ye say, We are wise, and the law of AHAYAH is with us? Lo, certainly in vain made he the pen of the scribes, is in vain. The wise men are ashamed, they are dismayed and taken. Lo, they have rejected the word of Mighty God AHAYAH, and what wisdom is in them? Therefore will I give their wives unto others, and their fields to them that shall inherit them. For every one from the least even unto the greatest is given to covetousness. From the prophet even unto the priest every one dealeth falsely. For they have healed the hurt of the daughter of my people slightly, saying, Peace, peace, when there is no peace. Were they ashamed when they had committed abominations? No, they were not at all ashamed, neither could they blush. Therefore shall they fall among them, they fall in the time of their visitation, they shall be cast down, said Mighty God AHAYAH. I will surely consume them, said AHAYAH. There shall be no grapes on the vines, nor figs on the fig tree, and the leaf shall fade, and the things that I have given them shall pass away from them. Why do we sit still? Assemble yourselves, and let us enter into the defenced cities, and let us be silent there. For Mighty God AHAYAH, our El Elohi, had put us to silence, and given us water of gall to drink, because we have sinned against AHAYAH, our mighty God. We looked for peace, but no good came, and for a time held, and behold, trouble. The snorting of his horses was heard from Dan. The whole land trembled. Excuse my puppies. The whole land trembled at the sound. Sorry about that. We're backing up to verse 16. The snorting of his horses was heard from Dan. The whole land trembled at the sound of the neighing of his strong ones. For they are come and have devoured the land and all that is in it, the city and those that dwell therein. For behold, I will send serpents, cockatrices among you, which will not be charmed, and they shall bite you, said AHAYAH, our mighty God. When I would comfort myself against sorrow, my heart is faint in me. Behold, the voice of the cry of the daughter of my people, because of them that dwell in a far country. Is not Mighty God AHAYAH her king in Zion? Is not her king in her? Why have they provoked me to anger with their graven images and with strange vanities? The harvest is past, the summer is ended, and we are not saved. For the hurt of the daughter of my people I am hurt, I am black, astonished had taken hold of me. Is there no balm in Gilead? Is there no physician there? Why then is not the health of the daughter of my people recovered? Chapter 9. Oh, that my head were waters, and my eyes a fountain of tears, that I might weep day and night for the slain of the daughter of my people. Oh, that I had in the wilderness of lodging place of wayfaring, men that I might leave my people and go from them, for they be all idolaters and a symbol of treacherous men. And they bend their tongues like their bow for lies, but they are not valiant for the truth upon the earth, for they proceed from evil to evil, and they know not me, said Mighty God AHAYAH. Take you heed every one of his neighbor, and trust ye not in any brother, for every brother will utterly supplant, and every neighbor will walk with slanders. And they will deceive every one his neighbor, and will not speak the truth. They have taught their tongue to speak lies, and weary themselves to commit iniquity. Thine inhabitation is in the midst of deceit. Through deceit they refuse to know me, said AHAYAH. Therefore thus says Mighty God AHAYAH of hosts, Behold, I will melt them and try them, for how shall I do for the daughter of my people? Their tongue is an arrow shot out, it speaketh deceit, one speaketh peacefully to his neighbor with his mouth, but in heart he layeth his wait. Shall I not visit them for these things, said AHAYAH, our mighty God? Shall not my soul be avenged on such a nation as this? For the mountains will I take up a weeping and wailing, and for the inhabitation of the wilderness a lamentation, because they are burned up, so that none can pass through them, neither can men hear the voice of the cattle. Both the fowl of the heavens and the beasts are fled, they are gone. And I will make Jerusalem heaps and a den of dragons, and I will make the cities of Judah desolate, without an inhabitant. Who is the wise man that may understand this? And who is he to whom the mouth of Mighty God AHAYAH has spoken, that he may declare it? For what the land perisheth and is burnt up like a wilderness, that none passeth through? And Mighty God AHAYAH said, Because they have forsaken my law which I set before them, and have not obeyed my voice, neither walked therein, but have walked after the imagination of their own heart, and after Baal, which their fathers taught them. Therefore thus says Mighty God AHAYAH of hosts, the El Elohi of Israel, Behold, I will feed them, even this people, with wormwood, and give them water of gall to drink. I will scatter them also among the heathen, whom neither they nor their fathers have known. I will send a sword after them, till I have consumed them. Thus says Mighty God AHAYAH of hosts, Consider ye and call for the mourning women, that they may come, and send for cunning women, that they may come. And let them make haste and take up a wailing for us, that our eyes may run down with tears, and our eyelids gush out with waters. For a voice of wailing is heard out of Zion. How are we spoiled? We are greatly confounded, because we have forsaken the land, because our dwellings have cast us out. Yet hear the word of Mighty God AHAYAH, O ye women, and let your ear receive the word of his mouth, and teach your daughters wailing, and every one his neighbor lamentation. For death is come up into our windows, and is entered into our palaces, to cut off the children from without, and the young men from the streets. Speak thus says Mighty God AHAYAH, even the carcasses of men shall fall as dung upon the open field, and as the handful after the harvestman, and none shall be gathered. Excuse my puppies. Thus says Mighty God AHAYAH, Let none of the wise men glory in his wisdom, neither let the mighty man glory in his might. Let not the rich man glory in his riches, but let him that glorify glory in this, that he understandeth and knoweth me, that I am Mighty God AHAYAH, which exercise loving kindness, judgment, and righteousness in the earth. For in these things I delight, says AHAYAH. Behold, the days come, said Mighty God AHAYAH, that I will punish all them which are circumcised with uncircumcised, Egypt and Judah and Edom and the children of Ammon and Moab, and all that are in the utmost corners that dwell in the wilderness, for all these nations are uncircumcised, and all the house of Israel are uncircumcised in heart. Chapter 10, the last chapter for today. Hear ye the word which Mighty God AHAYAH speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. Thus says AHAYAH, our mighty God, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. For the customs of the people are vain, for one cutteth a tree out of the forest, and work of the hands of the workmen with the axe. They deck it with silver and with gold, they fasten it with nails and with hammers, that it move not. They are upright as the palm tree, but speak not. They must needs be born, because they cannot go. Be not afraid of them, for they cannot do evil, neither also is it in them to do good. For as much as there is none like unto thee, O mighty God AHAYAH, thou art great, and thy name is great in might. Who would not fear thee, O King of nations? For to thee doth it appertain, for as much as among all the wise men of the nations, and in all their kingdoms, there is none like unto thee. But they are altogether brutish and foolish. The stock is a doctrine of vanities. Silver spread into plates is brought from Tarshish, and gold from Uphaz, the work of the workman, and of the hands of the founder. Blue and purple is their clothing. They are all the work of cunning men. But mighty God AHAYAH is the true El Elohi. He is the living God and an everlasting King. At his wrath the earth shall tremble, and the nations shall not be able to abide his indignation. Thus shall ye say unto them, the gods that have not made the heavens and the earth, even they shall perish from the earth and from under these heavens. He had made the earth by his power, he had established the world by his wisdom, and had stretched out the heavens by his discretion. When he uttered his voice, there is a multitude of waters in the heavens, and he causeth the vapors to ascend from the ends of the earth. He maketh lightnings with rain, and bringeth forth the wind out of the treasures. Every man is brutish in his knowledge, every founder is confounded by the graven image. For his molten image is falsehood, and there is no breath in them. They are vanity and the work of errors. In the time of their visitation they shall perish. The portion of Jacob is not like them, for he is the former of all things, and Israel is the rod of his inheritance. Mighty God AHAYAH of hosts is his name. Gather up thy wares out of the land, O inhabitant of the forages. For thus says mighty God AHAYAH, behold, I will sling out the inhabitants of the land at this once, and will distress them, that they may find it so. Woe is me for my hurt, my wound is grievous, but I said truly, this is a grief, and I must bear it. My tabernacle is spoiled, and all my cords are broken. My children are gone forth of me, and they are not. There is none to stretch forth my tent any more, and set up my curtains. For the pastors are become brutish, and have not sought mighty God AHAYAH. Therefore they shall not prosper, and all their flocks shall be scattered. Behold, the noise of the brute is come, and a great commotion out of the north country, to make the cities of Judah desolate, and a den of dragons. O AHAYAH, I know that the way of man is not in himself. It is not in man that walketh to direct his steps. O AHAYAH, correct me, but with judgment, not in thine anger, lest thou bring me to nothing. Pour out thine fury upon the heathen that know thee not, and upon the families that call not upon thy name. For they have eaten up Jacob, and devoured him, and consumed him, and have made his habitation desolate. And that's the end of chapter 10 of Jeremiah.